Today I'm going to help you guys green more shots on NBA 2K25 with some goated jump shots. Now up first we're going to show 2 jump shots for heights under 6'5", and then 2 jump shots for heights from 6'5" to under 6'10". Then I'm going to give you guys 1 chicken jump shot for all my 7-footers. I know you guys need some love too, so we'll definitely hook you guys up at the end of the video. If you guys want a tutorial on how to shoot with the right stick and find these jump shots helpful, make sure you guys drop a like. But let's go ahead and get into the first jump shot. Now these jump shots are going to be for all ratings, so don't worry if you have a build with a low rating and I happen to miss your jump shot. Comment your rating down below and I will give you a jump shot personally and help you out. But if you guys find this video helpful, drop a like for you, boy. Let's not waste any more time and let's get into the first set of jump shots. All right, so for the first jump shot that I'm going to give you for 6'5" guards and under, the base is going to be Javon Carter. Upper release 1 is going to be Fred VanVleet. Upper release 2 is going to be Oscar Robertson. With it set to push as your visual cue, your release speed is going to be maxed out. Animation blending is going to be 50% Fred, 50% Oscar, and then for your release height we get a B-. Our defensive immunity is going to be an A-, and our release speed is going to be an A+ with a B- timing stability. All right, so when we're shooting around with this Javon Carter base, one thing you guys are going to want to take to note is the legs. The legs have a slight bend to them, and as soon as those knees start to bend, you're simply gonna release the ball. It is a very fast jump shot. This jump shot thrives off catch and shoot. I actually have a lockdown build that has a 64 3 ball, and it is pretty consistent, if not the most consistent build I have. Because the only thing that controls the green window in NBA 2K25 is actually set shot specialist. Limitless is the most broken badge in the game. It does not work. I've submitted it to the dev team. I've talked to the right people. Hopefully they can get Limitless fixed where you don't have these low 3-ball builds that have the exact same green window as the high 3-ball builds. Because right now with Javon Carter and my 64 3-ball, I'm shooting anywhere from 58 to 62% with my build, which is more than enough as a lockdown defender that gets 5 legend badges. If you guys haven't checked out that video, it's on my page, best lockdown defender build. You guys need to go check that out. But outside of that, this jump shot is super smooth, one motion. The uppers are very good. It gives you that 90-degree angle with a decent high arc, so that way you can shoot over defenders. Release height is super important, and ultimately, the base is very fast as well as smooth. There's a lot of fast bases in this game, but they're very hard to find your actual timing cue. I like the fast bases. I love the bases where the knees actually bend the entire time. But let's go ahead and go on to the next base I got for you guys for guards under 6'5". All right, guys, and for the second jump shot, the lower base is going to be Frank Jackson. The upper release 1 is going to be Joshua Primo, and the upper release 2 is going to be James Harden. For your animation blending between the jump shots, it's going to be 25% Joshua Primo, 75% James Harden. Then we're going to max out the release speed, and for your actual blending and release speed cue, you're going to want to push it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points past the actual push point. This comes out with a C- release height, a B+ defensive immunity, an A+ release speed, and that A+ release speed goes way past it actually, as well as a C+ timing stability. This jump shot is much faster than the last one I just showed you guys. So for the Frank Jackson base, I actually found this base because I ran into a guy in rec that went 10 for 10 using this base, and I had to send that boy a message and secure the jump shot. His name was literally like New York Angel 37, so big shout out to New York Angel 37, man. But this jump shot is super simple. It reminds me of those old ugly bases that we used to use in like 2K19, 2K20 to shoot with those low 3-ball my players. It's actually way faster than it looks, and it has a very simple cue. It's the moment the ball goes above his head, you release. Right when that ball gets right in front of his face, your my player's face, you're going to release the jump shot. And the jump shot is smooth. It's one motion. You're going to be able to get it off before the defender closes out on you. And hey, this guy was yicking that thing off the dribble. We couldn't get a hand up ever. You guys can play with the uppers that you like. I'm just using the uppers that the guy gave me, And, you know, he went 10 for 10. He's actually the first person that I saw go 10 for 10 on this game because this game has a green RNG window. That's right. I said it. Green RNG window. You can make whites on the high risk, high reward. And then there's a chance that you could time your jump shot right and it'll give you a white, which is the first time we've had full whites since NBA 2K18. So let me know in the comments if you guys actually think that is a W or an L. I personally think it's a L. I hate the fact that I can learn my jump shot timing and then all of a sudden my third or fourth jump shot, I can still be timing it properly wide open and just clank that thing. And it makes it very hard to shoot as somebody who shoots consistently from the corner. But this jump shot is super smooth off the dribble. Let's go ahead and jump into our next jump shot though for 6'5" to 6'10". All right, so for our first jump shot for builds between 6'5" and 6'10", we're gonna start off with Christian Braun. As our lower base, our upper release 1 is going to be Amir Kofi. Our upper release 2 is going to be Oscar Robertson with a 20% Amir Kofi, 80% Oscar blend. And then for our blending and release speed for visual cue, we are gonna set this to 1 tick behind push, max out the release speed, and obviously we already spoke on the animation blending. This gives us a B- release height, A release speed with an A- defensive immunity, and a C- timing stability. Now that push to release stuff, that is all personal preference, but I recommend doing push on taller builds and release on smaller builds. But for this one, we're going to do those 2 ticks behind push, 1, 2. And that is where I usually like to sit it. All right, so in this shoot around, one thing to take a note is this build actually has a 74 3 ball, and I am absolutely chicken with this Christian Braun base. Now that's super important because I'm trying to explain to you guys with all these jump shots, you don't need a high 3 ball in NBA 2K25. So make sure you're making your builds according. Stop making these 94 3 ball lockdowns when you can literally make shots with a 74 3 ball. But let's talk about the base a little more. Christian Braun, man, it's super smooth. It actually reminds me of like a Ray Allen-esque of 2K12, 2K13, where his legs kind of go forward in one motion and start to click together. They're not fully clicking together, so it's not quite to Ray Allen, but it's about the exact same timing. And then we got the Oscar Robertson and Amir Kofi uppers. The Amir Kofi upper was actually one of my favorite uppers in 2K23 and even in 2K24 I found myself using it, so I always tend to go back to uppers that I used in the past. And then obviously the Oscar Robertson gives us that wonderful height for our jump shot that allows us to find our cue super quick. This is by far one of the fastest 6'5" to 6'10" jump shots in the game. So if you're looking for something super fast to shoot the ball on your pick and pops and find rhythm in a 5v5 setting, I definitely recommend this Christian Braun base. Now, none of these bases will be any of the bases in my last jump shot video, so if you don't like either of these 2 bases, there is another jump shot video that's out with 2 more bases for 6'5" to 6'10". But as you can see here when I'm shooting from the corner, it's very fast, smooth, and has a simple cue that you can find from the corner, and you can be literally automatic. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I see myself once again shooting in that 50 to 60% range. If you're shooting more than 60% on this game, you deserve a cookie because the RNG for the green windows is pretty ridiculous. But let's go ahead and jump over to the next base I got for you guys for builds from 6'5" to 6'9". All right, so for all of my 7-footers, this is the last jump shot of the video, man. For the base, it's gonna be Thanasis Antetokounmpo. I know I slotted that, man. My bad, bro. For the upper release 1, it's gonna be GG Jackson. Upper release 2 is gonna be Franz Wagner. And then your blending and release speed is going to be 50-50. Now, for me, you're gonna wanna pay attention to this because the visual cues on 7-footers are very much so personal preference. I actually started off with this jump shot sitting just before push, but after shooting around with it for a day or so, I realized I wanted to be just after push because I was shooting slightly late at times and I needed it to be a little slower. With the max release speed, that's very important. You're never gonna want to touch this and turn this down. You're gonna always want to keep it on max. That way you get your A+ release speed. As you can see, when I turn that down, it'll go all the way down to a B-. So keep that maxed out. The 50-50 for the animation blend. And then, like I said, a couple ticks past push. This gives us a C release height, B- defensive immunity, A+ release speed with a D timing stability. All right, so for these 7-footers, one thing I want to tell you guys at home is you want to find jump shots that don't bend a lot of the knee, because it is very hard to find your timing as a tall center, since you can't actually see the arms when you're shooting. That is the hardest part about shooting on a 7-footer by far. This jump shot actually reminds me of 2K20 Dante Exum. Me and my boy Rangers were looking over the jump shot, and he actually thinks that he's going to throw it on his build because it's pretty chicken. I'm not gonna lie, like, it does take some adjusting shooting with a 7-footer. When I was doing this gameplay for you guys to see the jump shot, I actually just hopped off my 6.7. It's a very super simple jump shot. The knees slightly bend, and that tells you when the green window will actually exist, and you can just release it right when the knees start to bend, or as the ball gets in front of his face, not when it's actually above his head. Once you release it while the ball is above his head, you will get a slightly late every time. As a 7-footer, you're definitely going to want to focus on release height and release speed. Anything below a C for your release height is going to be a major struggle. But you could get a higher release height for this jump shot if you played with the uppers and found your own uppers. I recommend this base. It's a good starter base. If you don't like my uppers, you can try some other ones, but Franz and GG give you a lot of release speed, and I love having A+ release speed on my 7-footer. That way when I'm picking and popping, I'm able to knock down the jump shots super fast and not get contested by the opponent. 7-footers can be a major struggle though with finding a jump shot. If you guys have a 7-footer at home and you want to sauce me some bases, feel free to send some bases. Right now I currently only have like 3 or 4 7-footer jump shots, so this is something that's definitely a time of the essence, trying to find new jump shots to give you guys, because I know my 7-footers are struggling this year in a game that is already very hard to shoot. But if you guys found this video useful, man, make sure you guys subscribe, drop a like for your boy, and we'll see you in the next one. It's been your boy Hollywood. Peace.